when they have a tough time.
And I think you're right in what you're saying. Look, it's not just Cork Mental Health. There's fabulous organisations out there, but I think we're all kind of going in the same direction of recovery. And recovery is different for everybody. It's different for every individual. And what we're trying to do as an organisation ourselves and others is to try and provide a space or an environment where people can recover in a supported way. So let's say from the shop, let's say from the art projects, the next step, that's what we're trying to do, is trying to give people the opportunity. And then the self-care part of it kicks in, where people have to take that opportunity and use their own abilities to be able to kind of be part of their own recovery, which wasn't the case 20 years ago.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the case. It was more about care. It wasn't about recovery. The one thing that I will always say is that you'll get good care.
Yeah.
I got good care back over the years, but moving from that space then into a space where you can recover and get better and find out what works for you. Step one for me with my recovery was finding a safe space to be. And oftentimes that was in a hospital bed, and that was never going to be sustainable for somebody trying to live their life.
Yeah.
There had to be more safe places. I had to feel safe when I was walking into a shop. Like, I'm seriously challenged by all the online stuff now, Brendan.
Yeah.
Seriously challenged by feeling safe online. I enjoy this forum now because I'm very comfortable with yourself and Jacinta and Dennis, the organisers, and this is about mental health, and I feel comfortable here. But I don't think we can take for granted that just because we're doing something that it's okay for everybody.
Yeah.
So whether that be about having a very open conversation about mental health, we have to take stock of where people are at and what are they able for. And it's the same thing, I think, with the online piece. You've got to feel safe in that space.
And Rory, I suppose there are a number of people obviously watching online today, and they may be carers, they may be family members, they may be service users themselves. What would you say to them in relation to how they can access the services, let's say either your services or the community services? What's the best way to do that?
So just before I answer the access piece, Brendan, what we've come to know, and something I'm very proud of, is that the needs of family members and carers is just as important as the needs of somebody using the mental health services.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose that has been an incredible change. You asked earlier what changes are there in the last 20 years. The inclusion and the recognition that families and friends and supporters, that there can be stress there as well, that there can be this feeling of not knowing there as well.
Yeah.
And that's the piece then that we can support in the services. That's, if you look at Shine, you've Emily coming on there later on now. Like, Shine has some great family programs, Brendan.
Yeah.
If you look at ourselves in mental health engagement, everything we do is just as open to a family member or a friend or supporter as it is to the service user. And probably that's the biggest thing, is for people to know and understand that if you're talking about the recovery of an individual, like when I go back there to all Mammy could say was he's away, or all Dad could say was his nerves are at him. Like, that changed so much over the years. Like, when I started including my family in my own mental health care and that self-care piece, and we got comfortable about it and we started talking about it, the love and the support that I felt there was second to none.
Yeah.
And when I think about that, that was from years and years of conversations with doctors and nurses and other people in the community that had gone through a tough time with a son or a daughter or a family member. And I look at my own family, and I look at their ability to be okay with me. Like, they're okay with me, good times and bad times. They're fine. They don't judge me for it, and that's kind of a fundamental piece, I think.
Great. Rory, we just have one or two questions coming in there, if that's okay.
Yeah.
A question from John, and he's just asking, what's the best advice you can give in regards to setbacks? And you reach a place where you feel like all your hard work has been undone. And he just says, thanks for the great talk.
Oh, fabulous. And John, thank you so much for that, because I suppose that's where I find myself a lot now. You know, I love my life, and I am very comfortable with where I'm at. I love my wife and I love my children, and I'm very lucky and blessed for that. But I do have setbacks. I do have the biggest thing that I've learned, John, is I stop being hard on myself. For years, I thought that I failed because I became unwell again. I had to stop that, and I got great help with that. It's a key piece, not to be hard on yourself. And the other thing is, every time that I've broken down or I've had a setback, I've come out of it with something new again. The one thing I've been blessed with, and I wish it for anybody, is I'd wish them an open mind. Because every setback I've ever had, there's been some reason in my life that I was doing too much, or I was following a path that wasn't necessarily right for me. And during the course of that setback, then I call it re-entry. I call it re-entering kind of society and community. You just have to take it easy, because like you see those big rockets coming back from space, they burn out on re-entry if they don't go at the right speed. And I feel that very strongly as well with regards to setbacks, that it's got to be paced, and if you can have that open mind, I can look back and say that a setback for me in the long run has always brought something with it that has helped me to be who I am today.
Great stuff. Rory, you're an inspiration. And look, I hope that answers your question. We do have, and it's just come in and it said, that's an incredible answer, thank you. So you obviously answered the question correctly. And the answer is different for everybody. We're under time constraints, Rory. So there's one other question about similar care groups in Dublin, and we will send a message around to everybody about the support services that are there later on. But I'd just like to thank you, Rory, for coming on today and taking the time out to speak to ourselves and to everybody else. And you know, I think your story is one that can definitely help others, and that's the more people like yourself that can come out and speak about the troubles that they've gone through in their life, that's what helps everybody else. So thank you very much, Rory. And I hope you have a great day.
Thanks very much, Brendan. And I just wish everybody else participating the very best with it there later on, and that everybody who's listening can get something out of it. Fantastic.
Great stuff. Thanks a million, Rory.
Bye-bye.